So, here it is. My 1984 Kawasaki kx80 that's been fully restored. When I pulled it out of the field, this bike had no brakes. No, the chain was seized solid. Engine was also seized. It was in a pretty rough state, but I pulled it in, stripped the engine down, changed the rings and unseized everything. Luckily it was only the piston that was seized, not the crank. And then the chain was seized so hard that I had to soak it in diesel and oil for over 3 days for me to actually unseize it. But I only used that to get it going. So the list of parts: new handguards, new bar guard, new numbers, new clutch lever, new brake reservoir, new seat, new air filter, but that's obvious, new front sprocket, new back sprocket, new chain, new gear lever. That initially was slipping, so it wouldn't actually go into first gear, kept on going into second. New clutch cable, and I rebuilt the chain adjusters because the previous owner had obviously let the chains too slack, and the chain had come off and torn the thread out. So the total cost of restoring this bike was around £150, which really isn't a lot. Yeah, and now it's in fully working order. Oil's good. At some point I do need to change the water pump seal because there is a little bit of water getting into the oil, but not a lot. Only after a full day or even 2 of high revs does the water go into the oil. Other than that, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Yeah. So in the next few weeks I'll do some videos of me riding it. I bought a new phone mount so I can film myself while riding, and in the next few weeks you'll also see me restoring the Suzuki LT50, which in my opinion is an amazing quad. This doesn't really need much doing to it. At the moment I can get it to run for 5-10 minutes, just from spraying fuel into the carb. But I've got the fuel tank which needs welding. I've started to weld it, but it still leaks, so I'm going to grind it down and weld it. It does need new wheels. Back ones are good. Back ones have been replaced at some point. I replaced those a few years ago. Front wheels need replacing. They've never been replaced, and they're also rusted through. Needs a new pull cord because for some reason the piece that goes there and actually goes into there has disappeared. Yeah, but I've had it running. I've rebuilt the carb. The 2-stroke self-mixing actually works, which is fairly unusual. I might get a new kill switch because this always happens. It's supposed to have a lanyard, so if you fall off it switches off. That's supposed to go through that hole there, but they always get broken, and there aren't many LT50s out there that have still got them that work. Other than the wheels, I'm going to sell it without the wheels because they do hold air. and they're safe at the moment. But I'm going to buy the pull cord and maybe the lanyard. But that's it. See you in a few weeks.